Yes, guys, what's going on? AdamMcKola here. AdamMcKola TV. Harry Maguire is a Manchester United player. It has been confirmed today in an £80 million plus potential add-ons, taking it to £85 million deal, which is a world record fee for a centre half. And in today's show, we are talking all things Harry Maguire and Manchester United and what that means for Manchester United going forward. Plus, the remainder of the transfer window. The transfer window slams shut on Thursday at around 6 p.m. is it? So UK time, it closes in working hours. And once that's done, United can sign no more players. Have we done enough business so far? Where do we need to strengthen in the team? Are there any players that we'll be bringing in? Are there any that will be going out? We'll be discussing all that here on AdamMcKola TV today in this show. So make sure you're keeping your comments coming in and all that good stuff. I can see you guys already in the comments. We got X2X, we got Chad, we got Jutero, we got Maz, we got Lee saying wish we could get Bruno Fernandes. There's a lot of people that want Bruno Fernandes. A lot of people disappointed by Dybala as well, because we're hearing reports that Paulo Dybala is no longer a possibility for Manchester United after Manchester United called off the chase. But let's talk about a player that has joined Manchester United and is part of the club, because Harry Maguire is now a Manchester United player. So that is big news. An £80 million deal. Do you care about the money? Let's talk about the money first. Do I care about the transfer fee? Ultimately, no. It's not coming out of my bank account. It's not coming out of my pocket. Manchester United earn an awful lot of money through TV deals, through commercial deals, through this, that and the other. And we're able to afford it. In terms of a percentage of our revenue, this is a very similar percentage to when we spent £30 million on Rio Ferdinand. Now, I'm not saying Harry Maguire is as good as Rio Ferdinand. I'm not saying Harry Maguire is even worth a world record fee, because I don't think he is. But he's a player that improves Manchester United massively. He's a player that's going to improve. He's got potential. He's already experienced in the Premier League. He's an England international. Leicester City didn't need to sell. They're in a pretty strong position themselves financially. And they're building something at their club as well. And all things considered, especially when you take into account, look, we signed Wan-Bissaka for 50 million. Now, that's a lot of money, but United fans feel we'll get the value for that because of his age and because of his potential. But then if you're looking at 50 million for Wan-Bissaka, then you're definitely looking at 75 million, 80 million for Harry Maguire. And the fee was also bumped up a little bit because Leicester City had to give 15% of the sell-on to Hull City. So we had to consider that as well. So the fee, I don't really care. At least it's not money sitting in the pockets of the Glazers, and it's being spent on improving Manchester United's team. Now, as for the player, Harry Maguire, fantastic defender, 26 years old, only going to improve, only going to get him better. He's a leader. He can help lead the defensive line and lead the team as well. He's reliable. Aerially, he's very, very strong in both boxes. He can bring the ball out with the ball at his feet, which suits the way Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to play. He's better than every single centre-half that we have at Manchester United at this moment. And just like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, is a signing that immediately improves our first 11. Now, I believe going into this summer, we needed a minimum of 3 of those signings that were just immediately going to improve our first 11. We needed at least 3 of them. We've got 2 of them. We need a third. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Let's stick on discussing Harry Maguire and the strengths that he brings to the team. He's signed a 6-year contract with the option for an extra year, which takes him to 32, 33, which is pretty sensible by Manchester United. It means he retains a strong sale value as well. Although I believe with Harry Maguire, we've got a player that sees this Manchester United move as the final move in his career, the pinnacle of his career. And that's what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is reported to have, been the deciding factor with Dybala. Dybala wasn't really keen on signing for Manchester United. And when that happened, he pulled the plug on the move. Now, it's disappointing to a lot of us if that's the case, because of course, if we're going to sell Lukaku, to bring in someone like Dybala would be a great move for Manchester United fans, and he's a player that excites a lot of people. But you can understand that sentiment. We've signed a lot of players for the wrong reasons, and this player is coming to the club with the right reasons. Watching him speak, he's a player that looks keen on it, learning, keen on improving at every single step of the way. He's improved from Sheffield United to Hull to Leicester City. He's consistently shown improvement. Every challenge that he's had, he's risen to. Now, this could all backfire and it could be an awfully spent £80 million. But with Harry Maguire, I feel like we won't be talking about the transfer fee. It shows you how cheap Paul Pogba was at 89 million as well, to be fair. And it shows you that some of the bids that we've been getting for Paul Pogba, if you believe the reports, are absolutely shambolic. But nevertheless, Harry Maguire is a United player. It was a world record fee, 80 to 85 million pounds for Harry Maguire. What are you guys saying about that? Our defence now, David De Gea in goal. I'm going to do a separate video on this, but David De Gea in goal, Luke Shaw at left back, Wan-Bissaka at right back, Maguire and Lindelof at centre half. It's looking pretty good, and you could argue it to be one of the best in the Premier League. Is it the best? Let us know what your thoughts are on that. I'm going to make a video based on that, so let me know what you're thinking. What's up, Heron in the comments, Cal's in the comments, Sujal's in the comments, Kashiv says Lukaku's training with Anderlecht, which is an interesting one. Buzzing with this transfer, says Sam. If Lukaku is training with Anderlecht, then surely that's a sign that he sees his future away from Manchester United, and he's just keeping fit until his move's announced. Interesting. Surely our defence should be solid now, says Sam. Excited to see how Victor and Harry play together. Yeah, who do you think is going to become Harry Maguire's centre-half partner? Is it going to be Axel Tuanzebe? Is he going to come through and surprise us all? Because the thing with Victor Lindelof is, every time he goes down, we get nervous. Every time Victor Lindelof goes down, we get nervous. So that's an opportunity for Tuanzebe, if Victor Lindelof gets injured, to come in and say, I'm the man. It looks like Axel's going to stay at United. And if that happens, you know, look, Smalling, Rojo or Jones, one of them really should be leaving to make way for Axel in this squad, so Axel gets enough game time. But if they don't, then Axel needs to go out on loan. Smalling, Rojo, Jones, who's going to go out of them? Rojo's actually been playing the most, which is a surprise to me and probably a surprise to many. So Smalling or Jones, is it going to be one of them? The rumours are it could be Smalling. Now, is anybody, I assume he's on over 100 grand a week, is anyone going to want to pay his wages and pay a transfer fee to United? We signed him for around 12 million, so I was sure, you know, we could get more than 12 million back in this day and age. But what's going to happen with that? Are we going to make a signing? Let us know in the comments below, guys, what your thoughts are on. And I've just seen, sorry, I got distracted there. I've just seen that Romelu Lukaku is training with Anderlecht. So training with Vincent Kompany's Anderlecht. Interesting move from Romelu Lukaku. I'm sure, suppose it shows a professionalism in that he wants to get fit, but professionalism would be to go and train at your club. But then United may have told him do one after his antics online, sharing information that he probably shouldn't have. I know it's probably not that sensitive of information and things like that, but your teammates aren't going to want that put out there, especially the lads that finished last and finished behind Nemanja Matic. So I can understand that why that would ruffle feathers, and it's an interesting move by Romelu Lukaku to do that. Maybe we're just waiting for him to complete a transfer now. I'm sure if Dybala was open to the United move and he was up for it and he convinced everyone that, you know, Man United was the place for him, then he would already be a Juventus player, but that's not the case and we're still waiting. So let's see what happens. Richard Wilford thinks Bruno Fernandes is not a Solskjaer style player. Forget him. Mata should always start, says Justine. The problem is Lukaku thinks he's R9, says Dion. We need a replacement for Herrera. Why is that not an issue, says Iman. And it's a great point. If you've been watching my channel and you've been watching videos on Full Time Devils as well, make sure you subscribe to Full Time Devils and to AdamMcKola TV. If you've been watching the videos on there, you'll see that when I've been speaking about transfers, I've been speaking about how important it is that we find a defensive midfielder, because we can't rely on Matic. McTominay can't be our only choice in there. Fred, what's going to happen with Fred? Is he going to turn into the player that we thought we signed when we paid 50 million for him? Andreas Pereira often has good pre-seasons but rarely delivers in the competitive stuff, so there's question marks over him. You know, those are our options there alongside Paul Pogba. The options aren't great. We need a lot more quality in that midfield area. We haven't got it at this moment in time, and I think a signing, you know, like we signed Harry Maguire, who goes straight into the heart of our defence, a signing like that in midfield is key as well. And it looks like we're not going to get it. So, look, you can be happy with Wan-Bissaka signing, with Harry Maguire signing. But we're still short. If this is the be-all and end-all of our business, we're still very short in this transfer window, especially considering Herrera's gone. And if Lukaku goes, that means we've let Herrera go and Lukaku go without replacing them. You know, you can't be happy about United signing players that strengthen our defence when our midfield and our attacks got weaker. Even if Romelu Lukaku was only going to be a squad player or on the bench, we've still got weaker. And that's not great when we're supposed to be catching teams and we're supposed to be improving. Yes, the younger players that are on the ranks and on the verge of breaking through, the Axel Tuanzebes, the James Garner, Angel Gomez, Sahith Chong, Mason Greenwood. Yes, it's great that they're breaking through, but you don't want to put too much pressure on these lads as well, because that could break them. It could make a few, but it could break a few as well. How about we sell Jones plus give some cash and sign Longstaff? Also frees Axel to play, says Sayesh. Now that is looking like a possibility if you put some of the rumours together. Jones has been linked with Newcastle and with Steve Bruce, and Sean Longstaff's been linked with Manchester United. Now, if that's a deal that can be done, you know, if it's something that even both teams are interested in, it could be absolute rubbish. But if that's a deal that can be done, then it brings in a midfielder for Man United. Is Sean Longstaff the man? Now, I said this earlier in the season. He's highly rated in the summer. He's highly rated, and I wouldn't mind his signing. But if his is the only midfield signing, that's a little bit worrying to me. But maybe it fits Ollie's criteria of players that want to play for the club. But still, we don't need just players that want to play for the club. We need quality as well. It shows you how important getting Champions League football was. Not just for us guys that want to see Champions League football and want to watch Manchester United playing against the best teams in Europe, but also because it helps attracting players to the club. And yes, when you've been out of Europe, you know, Champions League for one season, but when it's been something that happens more often than not since Fergie leaves, then it's a problem, and players are going to see it, and players are going to refrain from joining the club. It also is a result of chopping and changing your manager consistently. And maybe players are starting to see that Ed Woodward isn't all he appears to be. Harry Maguire is the next Rios, says Wayne Rogerson. It's a big shout. We need a central defensive midfielder and a finisher. All we will be talking about all season is how we lost it in midfield and can't finish. Spend the dough, says Indiana. Everton, come and save us. Jones should go, please, says Justine. Sal Young to Everton, says Richard. They're buying everything. I don't think they're going to want Ashley Young. Any more comments on Harry Maguire becoming a Manchester United player today? And any more thoughts on the transfer window and all the things that we have been discussing as Manchester United confirmed the transfer of Harry Maguire, but we still don't know what's happening with the future of Romelu Lukaku, as he's been pictured in Anderlecht gear training with the Belgian club. Paulo Dybala, that looks to be off now. Romelu Lukaku moved to Juventus, then would be off as well. Bruno Fernandes, BBC yesterday reported that Manchester United weren't even interested in the player. So, what's happening? What is happening? Are Manchester United in for anybody else, or are we getting some signings in? If the Dybala Lukaku deal's off, Maguire's done. I've just read a tweet there which is bang on. There's no distractions now. We just simply need to focus on signing a midfielder, I think. And then, if we actually signed a midfielder that improved our first 11, like, boom, there you go, first 11 improved straight away. If we managed to do that, then I'd be delighted, because you'd look at it and think, right, we've filled key areas. I'd still think we're a little bit of quality short in midfield, but if we got that, you'd think, okay, next two windows we now need to look to fill X, Y and Z gaps. And then you slowly build that, get that rebuild going. Younger players will improve a little bit. You start to get an idea about where they stand in the squad. Other players will leave, so you start to trim the squad of dead wood, and you can get the rebuild going. But we can't be short this transfer window. We just can't be short. Thoughts on Zaha? I don't think Zaha is going to return to Manchester United. I think he's a very good player, but I don't think he's going to end up at Manchester United. What's the latest on Bruno Fernandes? Let's have a mooch online. Man United had official at Benfica versus Sporting. Let's see. Looking for some news on it. Apparently Sporting were expecting an offer from United, but all we're hearing is just report after report, but nothing actually happening with this one. That's why I've been skeptical of it the whole time. It does look like Maguire's going to be number 5 as well. Found a picture of him with his family and a Maguire shirt with the number 5 on the back. A message from, is that his mum, who said, when your son dreams of playing for Man United as a little boy and you wake up one morning and it's happening. So proud of you. I think that's from his mother. That's a great post, that. United looked at Toby Alderweireld, Kalidou Koulibaly and Nathan Aki, but these players have been described as flirtation. Solskjaer was committed to Maguire. Man City offered Otamendi and Eliakim Mangala for Maguire. They made a 70 million bid in the end, but their pursuit was called off by July, so City were in for him as well, apparently. Maguire maintained his professionalism and refused to resort to going AWOL like Riyad Mahrez did. That respect ensured that strong relations with everyone at Leicester were upheld. Man United made a 70 million bid for Maguire on the 1st of July, which was rejected. Brendan Rodgers and Maguire had a meeting a fortnight later in which the player told him he'd like to leave if the valuation was met. All interesting little bits and bobs coming out about Harry Maguire, as he's been announced as a Manchester United player. But will anyone join him, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Daniel James through the Manchester United entrance door this summer? We need more in midfield. That is clear. I think everyone can agree in the comments that we need more as well. Should make his debut against Chelsea, Harry Maguire. And if you've seen the video that I did, the predicted 11 against Chelsea, you would have seen Harry Maguire was in my 11, but will I get the rest spot on? Go and check that out after we're finished here if you haven't already seen that. We're going to stick around for another 5-10 minutes, have a little chit chat about Harry Maguire, Manchester United and potential signings. Blaise Matuidi's been linked to Manchester United as a potential swap deal with Juventus for Romelu Lukaku, but if we ended up getting Blaise Matuidi and Mandzukic for Lukaku, I wouldn't be too happy about that. It'd fill key areas that we'd need to fill if Lukaku left midfield and up front, but the quality, and if we imagine we just got a straight swap with them two, that would be no value in that. Di Marzio reported yesterday that Juventus did not consider the Dybala swap deal to be completely off. But today Dybala was pictured turning up at Juventus training for his fitness medicals and all that stuff, as is usual when a player returns from the summer. And he was greeted by hundreds of Juventus fans who were delighted to see him back. It looks like he's staying now. So I think we can put that one to bed. We don't need to be getting our hopes back up on that one, unless something happens. But I don't know. Maguire will score against Chelsea, says Drift, with a question mark. So maybe he's not saying it. J. Wayne Jackson says best back four since Fergie left. I think that's a good shout. That's a good shout, to be fair. On paper, at least, it is. Whether they perform is a different story altogether. We should have been in for Werner, says Kamal. DiMarzio said we were still interested in Bruno Fernandes, and Simon Stone said we were not. So I think there is still something in that, says Sayesh. And to be fair, DiMarzio has been right about Maguire and about Dybala and Lukaku all the way through as well. Obviously, we didn't sign Dybala, but he never said we had at any point. So, yeah, maybe you might be right about Bruno Fernandes, but who knows? He gets things wrong. Have you seen Lukaku training with Anderlecht? He's definitely gone, says Ali. And yeah, it does look like Romelu Lukaku's training with Anderlecht. And like I said before, if that's the case, seemingly he is off ski. And if we don't replace him, that is a problem. I know we want to see Rashford, Martial and Greenwood given game time, but we need to get someone that can play along all those lines, because you know what I mean. We can't be not replacing Romelu Lukaku at all. Let's see what else is happening on the internet. Guys, get your comments in. We got 700 people watching right now. Get hitting that like button, get commenting, get sharing, and get subscribing as well to AdamMcKola TV. Hope you're all subscribed already, whoever's in this stream. If not, get doing it. And of course, subscribe to Full Time Devils. We're talking Harry Maguire, we're talking Manchester United, we're talking transfers. It looked like it was going to be an absolute dream of a week when it was potentially Dybala for Lukaku. Now that one's off. It could go either way. We're going to be here every step of the way though, and we're doing loads on Full Time Devils as well for the transfer deadline day, so make sure you check all of that out. But for now, guys, I'm actually going to head out of here, but thank you for watching. Thank you for keeping it locked. Thank you for getting your comments in. We'll be doing fan cams on Sunday at Chelsea for those asking in the comments. And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I'm going to get out of here now, but thank you for tuning in. See you later.